All right, good afternoon, Gators. Let's do that one more time. Good afternoon, Gators. On behalf of the College of Design, Construction, and Planning here at the University of Florida, it is my honor to welcome you to Jonathan and Melanie Antevi Hall here in the Devanat and Salani Patel Atrium. Not only are we here today to celebrate a new landmark building on this beautiful campus, but it is also fitting that this is the college's centennial celebration, established in 1925, and we are thankful that you are here with us today. This day is an occasion myself and the next speaker dreamed about for 8 years, and it is amazing to see it come to fruition. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the Dean of our college, Dr. Chime Anumba.
Good afternoon, President Landry. You have Board of Trustee members, you have Vice Presidents and Deans, you have Foundation Board members, DCP alumni, faculty, staff, students, and friends. Thank you very much for making the time to share this very important milestone in the life of the College of Design, Construction, and Planning, the ribbon cutting for the Bruno E. and Maritza F. Ramos Collaboratory. The vision for the Collaboratory is a shared one that captures the collective aspirations of DCP students, faculty, and staff. Our vision document, which I struggled to find, it was hidden in the deep recesses of my computer, actually describes it as a, quote, non-territorial, multifunctional building within which a broad range of collaborative and multidisciplinary learning and research activities can take place. It needs to exude the excellent aesthetic, functionality, and sustainability qualities that we espouse as a college, and should be the must-see building for every visitor to the UF campus. That is exactly what you see before you. As we mark the college's centennial, the Ramos Collaboratory will enable us to head into the college's next century with state-of-the-art facilities that will be the envy of our peers. Our students will work collaboratively in the Brian Comblau Eagle Construction VDC Lab, the Stellar Creative Commons, the Siemens Technology and Innovation Lab, to name a few, learning and researching how to shape the world we live in. It is intended to be a living learning lab outfitted with the latest building technology systems donated by Siemens. It's intended to be a well-certified building as well as a LEED Platinum building. And it will be the first building at UF with its own digital twin. As you will see when you go inside the Collaboratory, the construction work is not finished. However, I wanted to use the opportunity of the college's centennial and UF's homecoming to celebrate how far we have come. As we could neither postpone the centennial nor persuade President Landry to delay homecoming, we have curated some spaces for you to experience and envision what the finished building will be. I would like to invite you back in the spring when the building is in full use for by our students. I'm most grateful to the following who have made this collaboratory possible. First of all, the UF Board of Trustees, with special thanks to Chair Maury Husseini and Trustee David Brandon for approving the project, which includes much needed upgrades such as this beautiful canopy in this Duanit and Saloni Patel atrium, to the architecture building, which is now known as the Jonathan and Melanie Antevi Hall. Big thanks to former President Ken Fox and interim Provost Joe Glover for honoring their promise that if we raise half the cost of the building, which was then estimated at $40 million, the university would work with the state of Florida to find the other half. The project ran into unexpected headwinds about 18 months ago, but President Fox, on his return, renewed his commitment and worked with the Board of Trustees to make funds available to complete the project. The state of Florida was very supportive in providing $25 million in support of the project, demonstrating the state's commitment to having high-quality learning environments for our students. With this commitment from the state, I did charge my DCP advancement team to continue fundraising after we got to 20 million, which was our initial goal, and the intent was to try to match the support from the state. And I'm pleased to report that we have finally achieved that. On Monday of this week, we received a $1 million commitment from Autodesk to name the robotics lab in the Collaboratory as part of their support. We'd like to thank Bruno and Maritza Ramos for naming the Collaboratory. Your generous support and friendship are beyond measure, and this building will radically transform how we teach and learn in the years ahead. Thank you very much. We'd like to thank Jonathan and Melanie and Tevi, whose initial lead gift to name the architecture building catalyzed the fundraising campaign. We're really indebted to you, John and Melanie. We'd also like to thank all of the companies and individuals that made gifts to support this facility. Your names will go up on the donor wall and also in your named spaces as appropriate. The other group that I'd really like to thank is the project team, made up of Brooks Scarpa, Stella, KMF Architects, Kathleen Z, NV5, TLC Engineering, who, as alumni, went the extra mile in providing us with a facility that we can be proud of. Designing and building a building of this scale is a daunting undertaking, but doing it for people who actually understand every aspect of the project is particularly difficult. This team was amazing at accommodating our numerous questions, critiques, and they were also gracious enough to allow as many class tours as we needed. We are most grateful to UF Planning, Design, and Construction, led by VP Colt Little, for their tremendous support throughout the project. UF Facilities, led by AVP Mark Helms, has helped us tremendously to maintain and improve our facilities. We also would like to thank the DCP alumni and friends who have supported the project with their wealth, wisdom, and work. Finally, I'd like to thank DCP students, faculty, and staff who have been involved from day one in terms of the visioning for the facility, project team selection, end user feedback surveys, and who endured the sounds of progress as the building was being put together. I would like to give a special mention to Dr. Abdul Chini, Emeritus Professor, and Professor Nancy Clark, Director of the School of Architecture, for acting as the DCP project managers for this facility. Finally, I would like to invite you to make the Ramos Collaboratory and its well-manicured outdoor spaces your favorite hangout space on campus. I will be pleased to share coffee or tea with you while exploring how we are using AI to shape the future of the built environment. President Landry, if you ever want to get out of Tigard Hall and you need a nice, quiet place to hide, we have space for you here. Sure. So now I would like to introduce Trustee David Brandon, an inductee of the Rinka School Construction Hall of Fame, and a member of the National Academy of Construction, and also a major contributor to this facility, to say a few words on behalf of the UF Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Dean. I too would like to acknowledge the donors, the supporters, the staff, the students that have put so much into this project over the last 9 years. I would tell you when the Dean was hired a little over 9 years ago. One August morning, we met before the sun came up for breakfast, and the first time we'd met personally, and I wanted to know what his objective was for this college. How was he going to change this college? How were we going to pivot and work towards the built environment going forward? And he shared with me his dream of a collaboratory, and that's the first time I'd heard of that. And I thought that was an audacious goal, and but he was very convincing in his words to me, and I bought in. I believed in it, and I said, well, we got to see what the temperature is going to be in Tigard Hall. So he went and he met with Provost Glover, and I saw you earlier, Provost. You're here somewhere, and he was told that if you raise half of the capital, we'll get you the rest. And I decode that. That means I don't think you can do it because no one's ever done that before on this campus. And so this is a soft no. Well, the dean and Seth Watts, and along with Kim Stanley, they got in the car and they got on the road and they knocked on every door. They knocked on my door, and I think pretty much everybody's here. And they did it. And I've searched the history. And I believe in the modern era, this is the first building on this campus that 50% of the capital was raised by philanthropy. So congratulations, thank you all. Today we're celebrating more than a building. We're celebrating a turning point for this college and for our university. The Ramos Collaboratory embodies true collaboration from vision to design to construction. The dean mentioned the means and methods of construction, and this is a pivot on this campus that you just go a few blocks down Museum Road to Malachowski Hall, and you'll see we met the same challenge there. And so we're changing the way that our industry is designing and building buildings. There's well over 30 donors that contribute to this. Governor DeSantis was explained what our vision was. He bought into this, but we had to get through the House and the Senate. And I have to give a special thanks for past Speaker of the House, Chris Sprowls, as he sat not for hours but for days and listened to me and Board Chair Maury Hussaini talk about this building and the vision and the need, and he agreed that in his second year as Speaker that he would promise us that he would push it through, and he did. This building prepares students to enter the workforce as innovative, collaborative professionals ready to shape Florida's future. This is how we work in industry. Most of you that are in the private sector already know that, but having been a graduate of the program here in the construction management side, we studied in silos. Our projects were in silos with our peers, but they weren't collaborative. When you go out in the real world, you work together with engineers and architects and interior designers and urban planners, landscape architects. That's what the Collaboratory is about. It's teaching these students how to work together in a collaborative nature and to use technology. As the dean mentioned, this is going to have a digital twin, and I could give an hour presentation on what a digital twin is and the benefits. But that's the way we're going to be building buildings in the future, and it's a much more efficient way to operate buildings and solve maintenance problems ahead of time. So a deep thanks to Bruno and Maritza Ramos, John and Melanie and Tevi. This would absolutely not be possible without those two couples and their vision and their generous gift, so thank you. Now, to share what this building means to our university, it's my pleasure to introduce you for his first official ribbon cutting as University Interim President, Dr. Landry.
So thank you for the introduction. It's an honor to be here. I'm new to this place, but I can't think of a more auspicious beginning than to participate in a ribbon cutting for an enterprise that involves design, construction, planning, that sits at the three-way intersection of art, engineering, and humanity. This is an extraordinarily important college. This is an extremely important building. It has that portmanteau name, Collaboratory. It captures the creative tension that exists in real workplaces, as you've heard, as all the different units come together. It's creative chaos, controlled chaos. It creates things that are new, startling, beautiful, useful. All of those combine here. This is a very important institution, a mammoth campus, 200 acres, myriad buildings. But this edition not only safeguards our past, it charts our future. We benefit enormously by it. I'm exceedingly grateful to participate in this inauguration. The Ramos Collaboratory. Absolutely beautiful, extremely important, and the results of work, hard work, vision, cleverness, apparently, and the Ramos family, and all the donors whose generosity has made sure this day occurred and the university has moved forward. Together, with a clear vision for the future of higher education, the support of the state, the generosity of the Gator community, we don't just build structures, we're constructing brick by brick our future. And now, it is my privilege to introduce the visionary whose name proudly bears a dedicated double Gator, a leader in his field, and the heartbeat behind this project, Mr. Bruno Ramos.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. What a crowd. Go Gators! Interim President Laundrie, Provost Joe Glover, Vice President and CEO Elias Aldery, Vice President of Advancement Maria Gutierrez Martin, Vice President of Strategic Communications and Marketing Steve Orlando, Vice President of Enrollment Management Mary Parker, from our Board of Trustees, David Brandon, who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure this day was possible. Thank you. Dean Anumba, the seed of this vision, and Seth that made this a reality. Thank you. I'd like to introduce a couple of dear family friends that are here with us today, lifelong friends, the chairman of the Everglades Foundation, Mr. Carlos de la Cruz, his wonderful wife, also lifelong friend, former board of trustee from Boston College, and a lifelong educator, Claudia de la Cruz. And last but not least, the reason why Maritza and I are together here, and we met 42 years ago. Amparo Barred, former Vice President of Ryder Corporation. Distinguished guests, faculty, advisory board members, students, family, and friends. Today we mark more than an opening. More than an opening of a building. We celebrate a promise of an idea that was born here. That teams will test the edges of possibility and the power of working together. When Maritza and I met in Gainesville decades ago, we were young adults with big dreams and small pockets. I remember the quiet help from my mother with Hallmark cards with a 20 or two 20s in it and a good month. And inside, that were simple acts of love that carried me forward and got me through the university. I remember the commencement speech. When we graduated, it was about giving back. I had not yet seen how to give back as a struggling immigrant student. Over time, I learned something beautiful. Giving back is not a single act. It's a life lived together with others through mentorship, time, belief, and the courage to invest in the future. As an architect, I learned to see possibilities where others saw constraints. We design not just buildings, but opportunities. We make places where people meet, experiment, fail, learn, and rise again. This Collaboratory is precisely that, a place designed for collaboration, curiosity, and courage. Empathy, oh, somebody skipped out a place. So. Murphy showed up, but I'm always prepared for him. Why collaboration? Collaboration, it's more than just a buzzword or a checkbox on a project plan. It's the bridge between ideas and achievement. Professionally, collaboration is what turns colleagues into a team. It's when architects, engineers, designers, planners, construction managers, and visionaries put their minds together and say, let's build something better. It's not about ego or credit. It's about progress. When we collaborate purposely, we multiply creativity, solve problems faster, and grow stronger. In education, collaboration is how we learn facts and understanding. When students share perspectives, challenge one another, and build off each other's curiosity, something powerful happens. Knowledge becomes alive. Working together teaches us more than a textbook could ever. It teaches us patience, empathy, and true learning happens in community, not in isolation. Socially, collaboration shapes the way we connect and contribute. It's the foundation of our neighborhoods, organizations, and movements to improve the world. Whether volunteering, creating, or simply supporting a friend, we collaborate whenever we choose kindness over competition. Finally, collaboration in relationships, whether personal, professional, means listening, compromising, growing together. It's not me and you, but us. Did I get that right, honey? Beyond the workplace, the classroom, or even social circles, collaboration defines what it means to be human. Every invention, masterpiece, and act of progress in history resulted from coming together with one shared vision. When we collaborate, we remind ourselves that we are stronger and more connected than divided. So this Collaboratory has been set up to allow us to work together, to listen, to share, and build not alone, but together. Because collaboration isn't just how we succeed, it's how we create a better world. I shared 5 lessons at the groundbreaking that are part of who I am. The first one was start building financial independence early, students. Small investments matter, and they'll pay dividends in the end. Seize opportunities when they arrive. There's an old proverb that says, don't let the river water pass you by, because you may not ever be able to touch that same water again. 3, learn the language of finance and business. It makes you a better designer and a better partner to your clients. 4, live by 3 simple virtues. Don't lie, don't steal, and never walk away from a challenge. And last but not least, the 5th one, choose a life partner who complements you, supports you, and inspires you. Those are practical lessons, but their heart is collaborative. build with others, grow with others, and face challenges together. My life with Maritza, whose name stands beside mine on this building, is the truest testament to that. We met here, built a life from here, and named this building together because collaboration matters. To Dina Numba, Nancy Clark, Seth Watts, Maggie Drodos, Paul Casperson, John Knight, Phil Farr, and the DCP faculty and staff, once again, a heartfelt thank you. To the architects at Brooks and Scarpa, Larry, Angie, Jeff, and the team, wherever you are, as well as Kat Lindsay, the interior designer responsible for this job, great job. Thank you to the can-do team at Stellar Construction and everyone whose hands and hearts brought this building to life. Finally, thank you to former President Fox for ensuring that this day would be a reality. You all saw a vision for interdisciplinary learning and collaboration and made it a reality. To the students who will learn and create here, make this your laboratory for brave collaboration. Seek out voices different than your own. Let critiques sharpen you. Be open and receptive to varying points of view. Learn there's more than one way to solve a challenge. Let failure teach you, and let teamwork amplify what you can't do alone. Use the tools in this building to design projects and the kind of world you want to live in. This collaboratory carries our names, but it belongs to you, the Gators of tomorrow. May it be a place where curiosity outpaces caution, ideas find allies, and partnerships become the practice that shapes your work and your life. When we build together in business, in classrooms, neighborhoods, and homes, we turn possibilities into reality. That is the spirit behind these walls. Let it guide you. Thank you, and go Gators!
All right, at this time, if I could have the platform party, please come up to the ribbon. This is our little section right here. Come on up, guys. So good around.